Hi, I'm Rick Buchler. I'm the president of Genstate Connect. We provide on-demand satellite services, mostly for the film industry here in southern Alberta, where there's a lot of places where there's not a lot of cellular connections, and so it's come very handy to use satellites. We utilize the Starlink system, and it's been very easy to work with. However, through this process, we've developed some processes and some equipment that's made our lives a lot easier, and we're going to make that equipment available to the public. Now, the Starlink system, if you're not familiar with it, very easy to work with. Comes with its own dish and cord. And to set it up, you just put it in space. And then you hook it up to the equipment that it comes with. But to make things faster, we have developed a small form factor, tactical, weather-resistant satellite controller. As such. So this controller, it is weather-resistant. It has inside of it a very powerful access point, so it's Wi-Fi for a very large area. It's actively cooled, so if you have a lot of things running off of this and it starts getting warm in here, there's a thermostat in here. We'll turn on the fan, draws in air, brings it out, and keeps it at the correct operating temperature, but you don't have to do anything to make that work. So to make it work, you just plug it in. So it has a port for any kind of extension cord. Plug it in here. And the green light means that it has power. So it is ready to go. Now the satellite is powered by this. Don't fall off. We have special Ethercon connectors, which makes it, once it's in there, it's hard to come out. So it's hard to get in. Once it's in there, it's snapped in, it's resistant from coming out. So this has been very good for us when we are doing a mesh system, setting up a mesh system which is going to cover multiple different trailers, multiple different buildings, all utilizing the same SSID, all using the same basically the Wi-Fi credentials anywhere. But even just doing a small event, this has been very useful. So when you plug it in, it's going to start booting up the dish itself. The dish will orient itself automatically and orient to the whatever position is going to make it most efficient. So besides the ports for plugging it in, we have 6 external ports, and these are all power over Ethernet, meaning if you have an access point which provides Wi-Fi, you can set up on a stand anywhere, set it inside a trailer, set it inside a building of any sort, and it'll power that. You don't need to plug it in where it is. You can just set it on the stand, and this will power it. So this is the satellite starting to orient itself. So it's going to find the best orientation of satellites, and it'll adjust from there. So utilizing this system is very convenient when you are obviously in an area where there is no satellite, there's no cellular connections at all. So if you are off camping and you want to make sure you have access to the internet, access to Wi-Fi calling, just for convenience or for emergency services, it's very handy to have. If you're going to be camping for a long term and you just, again, would like to have access to Wi-Fi for work, for pleasure, just to be able to connect, this is very convenient for that. But there's a lot of different ways that you can use this system, which makes it very versatile. If you are at a high density event, meaning like a concert, if you're at a rodeo, a place where there's going to be a bunch of people, a lot of people utilizing their cell phones can overload the local system, so it makes it hard for a call to go through. If you have your own system set up, it's dedicated just to you, and you have all the bandwidth that you would need to provide, do anything you want to do, even in the middle of everyone else. If they have low connectivity, you have as much as you need. It's nice to have this with you if you are traveling. So if you're traveling in any place where there might be difficulty in phone connections, having this with you, all you need to do is plug it in. This runs off the power that's provided by a car, quite easily, car, truck, or even one of those batteries, those battery generators. It doesn't take a lot of watts to power this for several hours as you go. So the system itself is ruggedized. it is weather resistant. If there's going to be rain, it will be okay, but obviously you want to keep it under cover if you can. Inside the controller, we utilize unified access points and controlling systems, which means that you can set up your own SSIDs, meaning what kind of Wi-Fi you're going to be using. You can set up as many as you want. You can have one for you can have one for guests, you can have one for business clients, with a password, without a password. Whatever you want done can be done on our online controller anywhere in the world. So as easy as this is to set up, it's just as easy to break down. All you need to do is either unplug it or unplug the satellite. Doesn't matter what order it is, it will take care of itself. And then once you plug it back in, it'll be ready to go at any time. So we like this because we can tuck this anywhere where it's going to be out of the way and plug in as many cords into that as we need and just kind of leave it. It'll do its thing. Now, if you don't need the small form factor, if size is not an issue, you can make it even more convenient. In which case, instead of having a separate controller, we can do the controller built directly into the case itself. And that looks like this. So it's the same case that I showed before, but instead of it just being case, it also has the innards in here put into the case itself. So that's very uninteresting to look at, but the fact is once you set it up, close it up. In fact, you can put this on top of here if space is an issue. So if you need a steady base, this works really well. On top of here. If you're in the middle of snow, anywhere else, something like that would be sand. This works as a good base. Again, you're just going to plug it in. Plug in the power. And it works the same. It all happens as automatically as it did before. It's the same equipment. It's just built into the case itself. So this would be really good if you are hunting, photojournalism, war zones, anywhere you just need to have something there with you. Break it out really quick, utilize it, put it back in its case, snap it up, and you're ready to go. So these are two examples of our tactical Ethernet satellite connector controllers that we developed, making it very, very easy to set up your satellite, utilize it, put away, and go from there. This will be very easy for you, your team, anyone else to use as well. If you're interested, you can find us at GenstateConnect.com.